Hello everyone, welcome to CLS Nest, your friendly destination to explore the fascinating world of biology. I'm glad you're here. Today we are exploring one of the most fundamental concepts of biology, the cell, the foundation of life. Imagine if I asked you what is the smallest unit that makes you. Is it your heart, your brain? Surprisingly, the answer is much smaller, a cell. From the tallest tree to the tiniest bacteria, every living organism begins with this remarkable unit. But what makes the cell so special? Let's explore. What is a cell? A cell is the smallest structural and functional unit of life. It is called the structural unit because cell comes together to form tissues. Tissues form organ work together as organ system and together build an entire organism. Just as brick come together to build wall and wall together makes a house. It is also called the functional unit because every vital activity of life, such as respiration, circulation, response to stimuli, and reproduction, is carried out by cell. In simple words, if cells stop functioning, life itself cannot exist. Now that we know what a cell is and why it is considered the foundation, have you ever wondered how scientists first discovered something too small to be seen with naked eye? Let's travel back in time and meet the scientist whose discovery transformed our understanding of life. Journey begins in 1665 with Robert Hooke. While examining a thin slice of cork under a microscope, he observed tiny box-like compartments. They reminded him of small rooms or cells in a monastery. So he named them cells. However, these were actually dead plant cells. A few years later, in 1676, Antony van Leeuwenhoek used a more powerful microscope and became the first person to observe living cells. He described these tiny living organisms as animalcules, opening an entirely new world of microscopic life. In 1838, German botanist Matthias Schredlin carefully studied plant tissues and concluded that all plants are made up of cells. Just 1 year later, in 1839, zoologist Theodore Schwann extended this idea to animals, proposing that all animals are composed of cells. Together, the work of Schledin and Schwann laid the foundation of cell theory. Finally, in 1855, Rudolf Virchow made another groundbreaking contribution by stating that every new cell arises from pre-existing cell. This completed one of the most important principles of modern biology. These remarkable discoveries led to the formulation of cell theory, which remains one of the fundamental principles of biology. Principle 1. All living organisms are made up of one or more cells. Whether it is a single-celled bacteria or a multicellular human being, every living organism is composed of cells. They are the basic building blocks of life. Principle 2. The cell is a structural and functional unit of life. Cells provide the structure of every organism and perform all the essential life processes required for the survival. That's why they are known both as the structural and functional units of life. Principle 3. All cells arise from pre-existing cells. New cells are formed only by the division of existing cells. This principle explains how organisms grow, repair damaged tissues, and reproduce. Now that we have understood what cells are and the principles of cell theory, let's see how cells are classified. Based on their internal organization, cells are mainly classified into two types, prokaryotic cells and eukaryotic cells. Although both perform essential life processes, they differ in their structure and complexity. Prokaryotic cells are smaller in size, ranging from 0.1 to 5 micrometers, while eukaryotic cells are larger, ranging from 10 to 100 micrometers. Prokaryotic cells lack a true nucleus, and the DNA is present in a region called nucleus. Eukaryotic cells contain a well-defined nucleus with linear DNA organized into chromosomes. Another major difference is the presence of membrane-bound organelles. They are absent in prokaryotes but present in eukaryotes, allowing specialized cellular functions. Prokaryotic cells divide through binary fission, while eukaryotic cells undergo mitosis and meiosis. Bacteria and archaea are examples of prokaryotes, whereas plants, animals, fungi, and protists are examples of eukaryotes. Although every cell shares the same basic characteristic, not all cells in our body are identical. Different cells are specialized to perform different functions. Let's explore the major types of human cells. Epithelial cells form the protective covering of our body. They line the skin, mouth, stomach, and many internal organs, acting as a barrier against injury, infection, and dehydration. Blood contains different types of cells. Red blood cells transport oxygen, white blood cell defend our body against infections, and platelet helps in blood clotting. Muscle cells have the unique ability to contract and relax. This enables body movement, maintains posture, and allows the heart to pump blood continuously. Neurons or nerve cells are specialized for communication. They transmit electrical signals between the brain, spinal cord, and the rest of the body, helping us think, move, and respond to our surroundings. Stem cells are unique because they can develop into many different types of specialized cells. They play an essential role in growth, tissue repair, and regenerative medicine. Even though these cells perform different functions, they all contain the structures called organelles that work together to maintain the functioning of the cell. Let's take a look inside a typical eukaryotic cell. The major organelles include nucleus, Golgi, cytoplasma, lysosome, endoplasmic reticulum, mitochondria, and the cell membrane. Let's quickly revise everything we have learned today. We started by understanding that the cell is a structural and functional unit of life, forming the foundation of all living organisms. We then explored the fascinating history of cell discovery, from Robert Hooke, who coined the term cell, to Leeuwenhoek, Sledin, Schwann, and Virchow, whose discoveries shaped the modern cell biology. These discoveries led to the cell theory, which explains that all living organisms are made up of cells. The cell is a basic unit of life, and the cell arises from pre-existing cell. We then compared prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells based on their organization, after which we explored the major human cell types, each performing unique functions. Finally, we looked inside a eukaryotic cell's structures and called organelles. Thank you for learning with CLS Nest. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. If you have any questions or suggestions for further topics, let us know in the comments below. Until next time, keep learning and stay curious.